as a calling. And it wasn't by surprise that I'm originally from Rwanda. And I was about 14 years old when we had the genocide against Tutsi. And that's when I knew, when I got to come here to the United States, that I didn't want to do anything else but mental health. I started in a different area, on a medical area, transplant, but I've always wanted to come in this area to learn more and possibly share, most importantly, with my community. Although I'm currently working here, I am so glad that you have started these conversations here, which I think these are very important conversations. So I love music. I love sports. I try to wake up every day trying to see what could be something that will bring joy or something to be grateful for.
And we have so much to offer today, as usual. I mean, inspirational stories, eh? Bernadette, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Emertha, for having me today. I had so much fun last time and I'm ready for more fun today.
Yes, yes. It's always a pleasure having you. You know, people have been asking of you, where is she? When are you bringing her back? I'm like, don't worry, you'll see her as many times as you wish. So here we are again. Yeah. Well, this is Bernadette. She's an expert in mental health, and she loves sports, like she mentioned. Bernadette, maybe you go a little bit more. I mean, yeah, introduce yourself just a little bit for the new viewers who haven't seen you before, just to know who Bernadette is. I know she's just, a full package of everything.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for this time. My name is Bernadette Ngabonziza. I am originally from Rwanda. I was born in Rwanda. I currently live in the US, East Coast, for the past 20 years. I am married. I have three children, and my husband, been together since high school. We met playing
Wow.
basketball. That's a very significant part of who I am. I have to put that as a part of an introduction. So I work, as you mentioned. I am in an area of medical field. I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I treat patients in a I treat veteran in a veteran hospital in the area of mental health with
Mhm.
broad spectrum of conditions, including trauma, addiction, and so I've been doing this for quite some time. I see this as a calling. And it wasn't by surprise that I'm originally from Rwanda, and
Mhm.
I was about 14 years old when we had the genocide against Tutsi. And that's when I knew, when I got to come here to the United States, that I didn't want to do anything else but mental health. I started in a different area, on a medical
Mhm.
area, transplant, but I've always wanted to come in this area to learn more and possibly share, most importantly, with my community. Although I'm currently working here, I am so glad that you have started these conversations here, which I think these are very important conversations. So I love music. I love sports. I try to wake up every day trying to see what could be something that will bring joy or something to be grateful for. I make it an
Mhm.
everyday practice. And
Mhm.
so that's what I could share for now. But as we continue to speak, maybe if you have any question or if you want to talk about something else specifically, I'm more than happy to share it. Thank you.
Excellent, lovely, lovely introduction, Bernadette. And I love the combination of what you do and really who you are. So a mother, a medical specialist, I mean mental health specialist, and a wife, and a sports woman, and a dancer. She's, a combination of it all. I love the variety of who you are and what you do. Wow. So my name is Emertha Wangijira. I am the host of Inspire Talk Show. And guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do it now. And please also remember to share if you are inspired today with what we are going to talk about. Bernadette, a lot of people saying that happiness has kind of reduced. People seem to be unhappy. As a result, they end up having some negative thoughts, maybe because of what we've been going through as humans since 2020, what happened, the pandemic to be specific, and possibly people losing their loved ones, businesses closing, and so on. So as a result, people think that there is less moment of happiness, and people probably might fall into a risk of a higher mental health problems. What do you think about that? And probably before we go there, what is happiness itself? How do you define it, or what makes someone happy? I don't know. It's a million question, but what does happiness look like?
Thank you, Emelta, for this excellent, wonderful question. And I'm so glad you started here. I was distracted a little bit by my phone, which I'm turning off now. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm glad you specifically asked this question. Then we can move on to expand more. So
Yeah.
you asked me how I define happiness.
Yes. Or what
I'm
does
going
happiness look like?
how does happiness looks like. I can
Yeah.
share what happiness looks like for me,
Yes.
but I would like to start by mentioning that I remain a work in progress towards what it is that we all strive for, happiness.
Uh-huh.
So to
Yeah.
me, happiness looks like the ability to enjoy what it is good we have for today.
Uh-huh.
That's how it looks
Yes.
like. And happiness for me is not what we see. Happiness for me is what a person is feeling, because that
Uh-huh.
will translate in what they do, in how they interact with others.
Uh-huh.
Because I could sit here with a beautiful smile and share that
Yeah.
this is how happiness looks like. Meanwhile,
Uh-huh.
my action, because usually when it's not starting within, it will show up one way or the other in our
Uh-huh.
action. And my action towards myself or those around me might not
Uh-huh.
necessarily be what we define as happiness. To me,
Yes.
how happiness looks like is being able to wake up every day and enjoy
Uh-huh.
what it is, that is good, that is positive, and also being able to translate that to around you, in a way that it's gratitude. So if that's how I can
Gratitude. I
simply,
love the word.
yeah, that's how I can simply define happiness. That's how it looks like
Yes.
in your action, right.
Gratitude, gratitude. Waking up every morning and see the beauty in the nature, see the beauty in sunshine, see the beauty in people, see the beauty in ourselves. I think you're right. But
Right.
when we can't really see those little things and appreciate them, when we kind of lose our sense of gratitude, if you like. Uh, for example, if I look at myself in a mirror and I feel like I don't like the woman I'm seeing in a mirror, how do you connect that to my mental health probably being attacked somehow. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a very good question. Specifically, you ask, if I look myself in a mirror and I don't like the woman I see, how do I connect that with mental health? I can simply say that that's a negative feeling, which is,
Yeah.
lack of a better way to simplify this, which is depression, right?
Depression.
Sadness,
Right.
negativity. So if I'm not able to look myself in a mirror and say, this is a beautiful woman created in the image of God, unique, here to really do great things,
Excel.
whether or not someone has told me that, or I might have believed the lies that it wasn't the case, but to simplify this, it is the way it's connected to mental health. It brings negativity, sadness. So if I look myself in a mirror and I don't like the woman I see, that right there, I'm starting my day on the wrong foot. It's negative.
Yes.
And that it's the core belief around depression, sadness.
Right.
Automatically, even look at let we can try to even do some exercise here. I look myself, like what I see, automatically I smile. And if I
You
don't like what
smile.
I see, I'm sad, right?
Yeah.
So that's the connection.
Wow, wow. So we can tell that something is not right if we even don't appreciate seeing ourselves in a mirror. That definitely we can't feel happy maybe about something else or someone else, because I think first of all we have to feel happy about ourselves. So yeah, well, thank
May
you so much for that. Yeah, yeah, go
may
on.
I please emphasize that it's
Yes,
completely
sure.
wrong. It's completely
Mm-hmm.
wrong, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not accurate. It's not accurate.
Yeah,
Maybe wrong seems a bit accusatory. It's not
yeah.
accurate to look ourselves in the mirror and we don't see a person who is beautiful. That means we are believing lies, and it's been working since from the day we were probably conceived until we were out in the society. But that's not
Mm-hmm.
an accurate uh, thought. It's completely wrong. So when it's there, one of the work we do, we work on changing that. If someone is in therapy or things like that. So right there, no person who is in the right mind that he's supposed or she's supposed to be in should look themselves in the mirror and don't like what they see, don't see beauty, don't see precious, don't see that automatically there, it's wrong. Every human being should see the truth, which is beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I love that. We should see the beauty in ourselves, and obviously, that's when we could be able to see the beauty in others. But some people really say that it's very hard to be happy in the midst of crisis, in the midst of sadness. Where how do you draw the happiness? I'll probably specifically ask you, not because you are in a specific situation that probably wouldn't make you happy, but I see you as a very happy person. To be honest, this woman is a very happy person I've ever seen. She's very happy every moment. So tell me how, first of all, we start. How is it possible to be happy? Maybe in the midst of crisis or in a situation where you actually shouldn't be happy? How possible is that? Then I'm going to obviously ask your source of happiness, because it just amazes me.
Oh, thank you. And let me start by saying thank you so much for seeing what I strive for. And it's good to
Mm.
know that it does translate. And I can also add that you can't see what you don't have. If you are able to see that in others, you also have
Yeah,
it. So
all of that.
yes, in order, you ask me a question, is it possible to see happiness in a midst of crisis? Yes, but I do say that it has to be some type of exercise that might not happen naturally. And also, let's say when you are in crisis, it's not wrong to able to be able to be sad, to grieve, to
Yeah.
identify that there is a loss that really is worth grieving for, that this is a situation that is not okay. Then you go there, and having the difference between, because we all go through stuff, the difference
Yes.
between those who are able to maintain happiness, to keep going, and those who are not, it's because the moment they step out of that moment to realize this is a crisis, there is a lot going on, they are able to hold on and say, it's a crisis, but I'm still breathing. It's a crisis, but there is tomorrow. Those are the little things you start identifying what's okay, and you let that be the driving force of your tomorrow. So it's very possible. Some people have it naturally. Some people have to constantly do the work. Some people need reminders, post things here, reading Bible verses or other things that remind them. It might not happen naturally, because something that is engraved in you for a long time might not change easily. So it's very possible. Sometimes it might happen naturally, or you might have to do the work every day.
Back to you. Bernadette, you are a very, very happy person, and I always admire to have a little bit of portion of your happiness. I mean, to be able to do what you do. I love how you put your family together, your husband and children working together, exercising together. I mean, that kind of happiness really, it's so contagious. That's why I feel like I am admiring it, because I feel like I it's really contagious. So how do you get that energy, and what is the source of your happiness and your joy, and how you able to transmit that joy to others?
Thank you. Uh, to answer your question, I would like to say that one of the ways I do this, it's because I have learned that one of the ways to help you keep going is to have that positivity, to have that smile. So I think my number one secret, I know that's the way.
Yeah.
And then I start by practicing. Some of it could happen, could be naturally who I am. Some of it are conscious decision. If I could share, for example, I know that a day I decide to wake up and do some type of exercise, that day it's good for me. I feel better, I have energy, I perform better, my productivity increase. I know that's
Yeah.
going to work, and because I know that's going to work, I make it, I decide, I do it. I say, I know what works. It might not be easy to say, let me get on and walk or exercise, but because I know it's going to help, it's going to work, I go ahead and do it. So, and that brings a smile, that brings energy. And in order to answer your question, and how do I get everyone around me to do that, it's because people learn by examples. I have children who, no matter how many times I say, you have to wake up and you have to exercise, or you have to do things, clean area around you, make your bed. If I don't model that by example, I can say all I want, is not going to work. So with being the
Right.
example, they join in, they say, Mom, this, can we try this, right? They also learning that if they exercise, it's probably going to give them energy, it's fun, there is always music around. So to answer your question, I start by myself, I model it, and people around me join. Yes, of course, there are moments where I have to ask, right? I have to say, remember that day was good. I have, but I would like to emphasize on, you have to start with yourself, and then people around you will learn. That's easy to ask someone to do something they have seen you doing. So that's what
Yeah.
I go by. Yeah.
And it has actually, I think, gone beyond your household to the world, because we follow you, we see what you do, and we admire you. And that's
Thank
why
you.
I'm like, oh, this is so good.
Thank you.
So, as a mother again, and a wife, and an employee, how do you manage to juggle around to make sure that you keep that discipline of exercising, of keeping your family together and doing activities together and still be able, obviously, to do your other job?
Thank you. Another good question. Let me start also by saying that I'm still looking for answers to do it perfectly, but I
Mhm,
strive for it. But I have learned so far that we have to have a routine. We have to have a
mhm.
routine because some days are better than others. And during that
Yeah.
routine, we have to stay disciplined, routine and discipline. And we have not, it's important not to be so hard on ourselves. The day I didn't
Yeah.
get to exercise, I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I have learned that having a routine, and it's
Mhm.
important to also, feed our mind, body, and soul. That helps as well. So you have a
Mhm.
routine that involve, eating healthy, and you also exercise, you pray or you meditate or other things that feeds your soul.
Mhm.
It's very important. The reason I say it's important to have a routine, it's because
Mhm.
personally I could share that if I didn't have those uh, routines, there are some days I don't want to do it. And then I
Mm.
remember this is part of my routine. I I
Mhm.
can see how it's easier now compared to when I started, because
Mhm.
we learn by habits. We teach ourselves
Mhm.
what way to do things by habits and by repetition. So I could
Mhm.
see how now some of the things are happening naturally. I no longer need to
Yeah.
set up my alarm clock to early morning,
Mm.
because that
Mm.
I've been doing that for quite some time. Again, some days I do
Wow.
sleep in, and the days
Yeah.
I don't happen to stick to that routine, I don't
Mhm.
beat myself up for it, but let me share that the days I don't stick to that routine, those are harder
Mhm.
days.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
really? Like how? Like how? This again takes me to the trigger of behaviors like good behaviors. What triggers that those that the happiness moment, and obviously how do you feel when you haven't done those things that you usually do?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I could it could say generally how I'm feeling. Right?
Yeah.
It's not a good day. You could say I'm not having a good
Mm-hmm.
day. Period. And then you can
Really?
compare it to the day you woke up early,
Yeah.
you did your routine.
Mm.
Completely different days. Productivity is not the same. The energy level is not the same. So
Mm-hmm.
I could it's different. I could see how I could feel and see the difference. I don't know if that answers the
Mm.
question.
Wow. Wow. So then again, that is where the importance of exercising really comes in, I think, because a lot of people have emphasized on exercising like daily, yeah? How to promote, how to boost our immune system, how to boost our, how to gives us, I mean, a good mental health and our productivity. So I think exercising is one of the key things that you really practice daily. Am I right?
Yes, I practice this very regularly. Some days I don't get to exercise, and it's okay. I
Mhm,
come back to where I started, and
mhm,
if I can share what could be the connection,
mm,
for people who did a lot of study around what happened in our brain when we exercise,
yeah.
that's very similar to what happened when you are having a good day, a lot of energy. So there is something that
Mhm,
is doing to your body physically when you exercise. So it's
right.
like you are feeding if you wake up, you don't eat your breakfast or you don't have your meal, you don't have any energy. So if you
No.
don't exercise, that food to your brain, what's happening when you're
Mhm,
exercising, it's not happening.
mhm,
Then the
no.
energy is low, the mood is low, so everything is so connected. And there is a reason you feel better after you exercise, and there is a biological
Mm,
reason you feel better after you exercise, and there is a biological
mhm,
reason you feel different. You when you don't exercise. And then we using exercising, but it could be a lot of different things. Some people might say, I don't exercise, I'm not an athlete. Well, can I meditate? Can I walk? I will share that generally speaking, exercise, if it could be part of your routine one way or the other, it doesn't have to be the heavy super athlete way. It could be just get up and work and energize yourself. It could be, you could be cleaning the house, you could be taking a walk around. It's all about, getting your body moving, and that does something to your brain that is going to feed something that is going to boost your mood. So the same neurotransmitters, same part of things that happen to your brain, that when you are well, when you are that's what's happening. So you are feeding your mind in a way that is going to help you.
Wow, wow, wow. That's very interesting because I always thought that when we talk of exercising, you probably have to be a super heart rate person. You should probably run extra miles.
No.
You should probably carry heavy stuff, and so you could actually clean your house and serve as if you have exercised.
Yes, you could wake up and
That
take a
makes a lot
walk.
of sense.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
That makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. So,
Yeah.
to some women there who think they can't exercise because they are mothers of many children, maybe more than one, and they think they don't have time to exercise and probably start going through mental health issues, depression, and so on. So what do you have to tell them? Because now I learned that actually by cleaning my house, I'll be also exercising. What piece of advice have you got for them?
So there are so many things I could throw out there that hopefully will help a person or two. I could say,
Mm,
you love your family. You're saying my children, I can't do it because there is a lot going on with my children. I love, if you take care of yourself, you will give more love.
mhm,
You will have more energy. And
mhm,
also, if you it's a way of fulfilling yourself in a way that
yeah.
will help fulfill others. And then the same way you will find time to eat, you can find time to exercise. And
Mhm,
something I always usually tend to fall back on when I need to remember certain things is,
mhm,
if you knew that thinking negatively determine your life, would you ever try
mhm,
to think another negative thoughts, right? The answer being no. Okay, usually things are easier said than done, but
mhm,
knowing that when you exercise, when you do those self-care, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, is the same as eating is usually easy because your stomach remind you, right? Exercising or doing other healthy lifestyle, that's something you have to make a decision and do it yourself. But if you have
mhm,
something that is driving you, so you need to be better at, maybe find your anchor to remind you to take care of yourself, right? I used an
mhm,
example of negative thoughts versus positive thoughts to say to you, you strive to do a good mother, you strive to do a good person. And one of the ways to do that, you can't get there unless you do this in a way, right? So
mhm,
I think the answer to them is, it will make them a better mother if they do
mhm,
that, a better person for themselves. They will do self-care first. Let's start with ourselves first. A better
mhm,
person for themselves if they take that 15, 10, 20 minutes to do some
mhm,
self-care, possibly exercise. The idea of no time, a lot of people use that excuse. Yes, it's excuse
mhm,
that we feel we might justify, but everything else
mhm.
might need to wait a little bit, because we're going to show up better when we do those
Yeah,
little things. Same way we find
yeah.
time to eat. It could be some people who are busy, they might eat in their car. In this country here, you might eat in your car through the
Mhm,
drive-through, but you
mhm,
can exercise on your way to the car, right?
mhm,
So you can find
mhm.
a way to make it work. No time is usually an excuse. I guarantee you that. No time is an excuse.
Hey, wow, wow. this is so inspiring. So it's very possible to be happy. We all have our different means. So my happiness shouldn't necessarily be your reason to be happy,
Right.
but we can always find how we get along, how we can be happy, how we do things that make us happy. But
Yes.
mostly, like you mentioned, when we exercise, we are feeding our mental health, and
Yes.
we are feeding our brain, and we are awakening our brain. Then we can actually be happy. So tell me the relationship of smiling and a good mental health, because I had that when you show a good smile, then it does something in your body, and then it does something in your brain. And I was like, should I walk around smiling just?
Okay.
So
Thank
I'm like,
you.
oh, I'm gonna ask you on a date anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very again, a very good question. I will guarantee you there is a lot of people who did a lot of studies
Mm,
that will really specifically to the T give you an answer to the connection between smiling and happiness and better mental health.
mm,
But I
right.
think I can share based on my experience personally and also at work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what I could share is smiling is shows how we are
From inside.
inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said earlier that if we're thinking positively, when we look
Mm-hmm.
ourselves in the mirror, even our
Yeah.
face, it translates in our face, right?
Mm,
So, and then if I bring it out with a smile, that means
mm-hmm.
I am bringing the positivity on me, around me, walk in the room and smile and see the reaction compared to walk in the room and frown, right? So
Yeah.
everything is so connected. I would also add that there is such a thing as faking your smile, right? You
Mm-hmm.
could fake your smile. You might be very deeply troubled inside, and then you
Mm-hmm.
smile anyway. I would say that that's something we are calling maybe, although you're not feeling well, you
Mm-hmm.
realizing there is always something to smile about, right? It's
Mm,
like you
mm,
are exercising what you want, right?
right,
You are exercising what you want. You are calling what you want, because yes, there is
right.
such a thing as a fake smile. There is such a thing
Mm,
as, I walk in a room, I don't want people to see that I'm not having a good day. Okay,
mm,
that we can expand on this for so many different ways, but and then I choose to smile. When you choose to smile,
mm,
people will come around you. Maybe you needed to talk to
mm.
someone. Here is your
Yeah.
therapy. You might even open up and share what's going on. So, to answer your question, smiling usually shows what you are thinking, because I cannot be negative up here and then be
Mm,
smiling unless I choose to
mm,
fake it. But I don't even know if it's okay to use the word fake, because if you're
mm-hmm.
smiling, it's like you're exercising what you want. So
Right.
that's how I personally would see that. But I know there is a lot of work around that, around what does do. But I think it has to do with the same way when you're exercising, it's all
Mm-hmm.
about what that communicating to your mind, to the energy around you. But
Mm.
that's how I see it.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah,
This says to me that we can actually choose to be happy even in the midst of crisis, even when
absolutely.
we don't feel like we can actually try to be what we want to be.
Oh yes,
Try
absolutely,
to look how we want to look. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So it's possible to be happy in the midst of any crisis, of any
Yes,
situation. It's
yes,
possible to smile even if you don't feel good from inside,
yes.
and it's possible to exercise and have a very good mental health, like you've
Oh,
just mentioned. Yeah, go on.
I just wanted to mention that I'm not for someone who walk around smiling although they are dying inside. It has to do with the situation you are in, because I think people around you, yeah, people, so you cannot get better if you don't share what's really happening inside, right? So I think I don't want the message people are going to live with from this is keep faking it, right? There are situations where if you work in a grocery store, you going there.
Yeah.
I don't want you to go there frowning, right? But if you are around people who love you, who care for you, don't fake it. Let them how you feel. Pick a moment for it. But if you are possibly with your children, getting them ready to do what they need to do, put a smile on your face, because children, the way we interact with them, and that's another different conversation. But when you are in a safe place with the right people, don't fake it. Don't fake it. In a safe, share how you're feeling and talk about it.
And I don't think you can fake it for so long anyway.
No,
How can you fake
it shows up.
No.
It shows up one way or the other.
Up.
It shows up in your body. It shows up in your action. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Wow, wow. Thank you so much. This is so inspiring. And I hope someone is inspired. Keep your happiness. Don't let anything take it away from you. Keep that joy burning and feed your brain. Have a very good mental health. It doesn't require a lot, like Bernadette just mentioned. You don't need to be a superficial person. You just need to be you. Yeah. Yeah. Bernadette, have you got something else to add on before we wind up our conversation for today?
I could add, you just summarized it very well, but I just wanted to say, try to focus on the positive thoughts, because what you think really shows up outside. And also, if you want to motivate people around you, you cannot do it unless you are giving the example.
Right.
Thank you so much for having me today, and this was good.
It's an honor always to have you, Bernadette, and you are a woman full of wisdom. I'm so glad that you share your wisdom to the world. So I hope to have you again and again.
Of course, I would love
Guys,
to.
yes, remember to give us your comments and your views on this conversation. What next do you want us to talk about? Because Bernadette has really offered to share her wisdom, her expertise here on Inspire. So give us your views, leave a comment below, and remember to subscribe if you haven't. And please do share this. Let it reach all over the world and let us inspire one another. Bernadette, have a lovely evening and I hope to have you again soon.
Thank you so much, Emertha, and I cannot wait to come back.
Okay, bye.
Bye.